blown survival test for the party. The timing of this resignation is politically significant. All 6 AIADMK MLAs who quit had backed Vijay's TVK government during the floor test, defying the party line. That rebellion has now translated into exits, resignations, an open movement towards the ruling camp. For Vijay, this is consolidation. For AIADMK, this is erosion from within and a battle for survival. But the AIADMK is not only facing pressure from Vijay. On the other side stands MK Stalin and the DMK waiting to exploit every fracture in the opposition space. The AIADMK once dominated Tamil Nadu's anti-DMK politics. Today, that position itself is under challenge, with TVK growing on one side and DMK watching for political opening on the other. The larger question now is not just who resigns next. The real question is whether AIADMK can survive this twin challenge from Vijay and Stalin. Can it rebuild its cadre base, hold its remaining MLAs and reassert itself as a main opposition force? Or is Tamil Nadu politics moving into a new phase where AIADMK is no longer the natural alternative to the DMK? On this issue, I am joined by Bhanu Chandra Nagarajan, political analyst, and Amitabh Tiwari, psephologist, political analyst, all rolled into one. Let me straight away go to Amitabh first. Amitabh, will AIADMK be able to survive this squeeze?
See, essentially, if you see, regional parties in India are normally run by family control. The problem with AIADMK is that there is no clear succession to EPS, and EPS son is also not very interested in politics per se. That's number one. Number two is that the average age of political parties in India, just like you and me, is also around 30-40 years. So what happens is that even in terms of political parties, we see new political parties coming up, or newer versions of the regional parties or political parties, or some churning. And that is what perhaps we are seeing in AIADMK's case. To be fair to EPS, while he has been able to hold onto the party for the past 5 years when the DMK was in power, what has happened is that TVK is not only has emerged victorious in this stronghold of the Dravidian parties. Now, it seems that TVK is also positioning itself as the real inheritor of MGR and is talking about being the real AIADMK, and that has helped TVK poach some of the MLAs from AIADMK. So it's going to be a challenging period for AIADMK. What BJP and Congress have not been able to do for the past 3 to 4 decades, TVK has been able to do, and TVK is also hungry to have its own majority in the House, and that is also perhaps precipitating the crisis in the AIADMK.
Okay.
On the other hand, the DMK has a clear succession line in place and has family control at the top, and thus is less susceptible to such activities or such incursions by TVK. By TVK. Yeah.
Okay, Bhanu, your opening comments. Why is AIADMK facing so much of squeeze? Is it because of lack of a charismatic leader, which is essential in the Tamil Nadu politics?
See, fundamentally, there is no difference between DMK and ADMK in terms of outlook, in terms of ideology, so on and so forth. In fact, you will see members of ADMK becoming ministers in DMK, vice versa. So the difference was not ideology, but organization and leadership. We had various leaders who were like fighting against each other. So one was defined in opposition to the other based on these two factors and not ideology. So now with Vijay positioning himself as the pole, there can be only one opposition to him because he's also, calling himself the neo-Dravidian party or the #1 Dravidian party in Tamil Nadu, or at least he's positioning him that way. So with the opposition space, you can't have two people, and also given the fact that ADMK has lost twice, it is more in a weaker position compared to DMK, and it is getting dissipated. It's getting absorbed by some many are going to TVK right now because there's also a pull factor because Vijay needs MLAs to ward against pesky allies like the VCK, which is creating a lot of trouble. Other than that, some will go to DMK, and paradoxically, like BJP was actually waiting for this moment. BJP was waiting for the last 10 years for something like this to happen so that they can absorb the cadre and the leaders from ADMK. But unfortunately, they have committed harakiri.
Are you saying that? Are you saying, Bhanu, that this development will not create space for BJP in Tamil Nadu?
Oh, absolutely not, because BJP is already at 3%. Okay, they actually they are at the bottom and they show no promise at all. And even the most charismatic leader Annamalai has got out of BJP. There is no hope for BJP in Tamil Nadu for the next many years. What I see.
Okay, Amitabh, but I find this really very strange. There are two things I want to ask from you. We criticize dynasty in politics, but if you look at these regional parties, they don't have dynasty. They become very unstable. They crack and they wither away. Look at what is happening in BJD. Pandyan was projected, but he was a Tamil outsider. Recently, Mr. Patnaik inducted Mr. Pandyan's wife as an IAS officer, meritorious person, but an Uriya, because he is married to an Uriya. So now she has been inducted. So how do regional parties address this dichotomy? You have a dynasty, it's criticized, it's anti-democratic. You don't have a dynasty in place, you're not in control, the damn party cracks up.
That's why you will see that parties like the Samajwadi Party or the RJDs of the world, or even the DMKs of the world, are perhaps still slightly better placed than other parties like the BJD or
Even
the
Jain Chaudhary's party is in shape
Basapa
in some
or
part of this.
RLD, yeah, or JDU also to some extent, because there is not a clear succession line in place. So yeah, it's a big dichotomy, but I think what it does is that it sends a very clear message to the rest of the party members that the number one position is not open. Correct. So the competition is for number 2, 3, or 4 positions. So there is parity among the competitors or peers of the party. However, we are seeing that this has become a disadvantage to a party like the TMC. Correct. So it's not that it's all hunky dory for parties who have succession line in place. TMC had a succession line in place, but we are seeing that Abhishek Banerjee is struggling, or most of the issues which the TMC is facing is largely because of his overreach or the inaccessibility of the top leadership. So yeah, it's tough time for regional parties, I think, but there will be churning. Some new parties will emerge. Some will be rebranded as,
But why
let's
is
say, the
this churning
BJTs
taking
of the
place,
world.
Amitabh? You have collected a lot of data on this. Why is this churning taking place right now? Is it because of the rise, consolidation of Bharatiya Janata Party? Or is it something else, something which we are missing right now, when we do shorter
There
analysis?
two factors are there. One is, if you do an average of the vote share of non-Congress and non-BJP parties. So
Okay.
let's say if you add just the BJP and the Congress, the average vote share was 51% from 1951 to 2014. So the other parties had an average vote share of 49%. In Modi era, what has happened is that the percentage or the vote share of the Congress plus BJP is now as high as 58% in the 2024 Lok Sabha election. So there is a bipolarization which is happening after the advent of Modi on the national scene. That's one. Secondly, why the regional parties are facing the brunt or are facing churning is that the second, most of the regional parties are with the second or third or fourth generation leaders. And we've all seen that since some of these leaders have been born with a silver spoon, they've not been through the struggle of their elders. And what is happening is that they are not able to do real politics or adjust to the real politics. And the others also in the parties also are perhaps not accepting them as leaders. And that's why we are seeing this sort of churning.
Or is it because of the fact, Bhanu, I had a long conversation with KC Tagia. If you know him, he's an old socialist, He's been part and parcel of Bihar politics. And I asked him, why was it so easy? Or why was it easy for political parties in 50s, 60s, 70s to go with, for mergers, even till 80s? Why were they able to merge? He said, you need to take a look at their bank accounts. They had very little money. The money was spent during elections. If you look at the bank accounts of AIADMK, if you look at the bank account of DMK, even Samajwadi Party, even the regional parties, I mean, these bank accounts can shame mid-level, very successful, multimillionaire business houses. They run into 600 crores, 500 crores, 800 crores, and no one would like to merge their accounts. So the reconfiguration of Indian politics also slows down, which was very quick in 60s, 70s and 80s, because you were able to merge, demerge, come out of it. Like the way Janata Party was born, Banu.
No, absolutely. You're right that it's very obvious that money is playing a bigger role. But Tamil Nadu this time was like quite the opposite of what was happening, right? The money did not become a factor,
Really?
right? And this is also like another addition to what Mr. Amitabh was saying. One factor that is ignored is that the society itself is changing, it's churning, right? And there are new aspirations that are coming up. For example, Vijay's campaign was basically shoestring. He did not do anything. In fact, the campaign was stopped for many weeks because of various reasons. And because the organization per se is becoming less important because of the advances in social media and the reach of the social media to the last citizen. See, money and organization are going to become lesser factors given that leadership and and aspirational voices are actually given opportunity. So I think Tamil Nadu is sort of a pioneer. I think we might see it in other states going forward that new aspiration leaders that can tap into new aspirations can actually come to power. And in fact, Annamalai's move per se is also
Can I
based
ask you
on
one
this
thing?
assumption.
What you are saying, it was witnessed in Tahrir Square 20 years ago, which is called the Velvet Revolution, the Tahrir Square. After it all started from Tunisia, but Tahrir Square was the one where the Velvet Revolution started. But then there is also an issue of such volunteer-based mechanisms. I know I'm a little going off it, but I never will catch both of you together. Sustainability. Organizations can sustain themselves on hard times. How do these volunteer models sustain themselves? Like, I find no activity of Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi.
So sustainability is not a factor at all, Karthika, in the sense that, there might be a bigger churn. For example, take TVK's case. Okay, there is no organization, but he doesn't even have district secretaries.
Yes.
Okay, he has come to power just on the back of like quick campaigning and catchy messages, and he can actually fall off, and new organizations can come in the next 5 years, right? So I think we are going to come to the era of quick churns based on leadership and based on very, very impulsive sort of politics. And yeah, I think like Tamil Nadu is sort of a pioneer in sort of showing this to India. And I'm very, very sure that given in states with like major anti-incumbencies, where parties have ruled for a long time, chances of this happening are higher.
Okay, Amitabh, do you agree? Impulsive or less patient with entrenched mechanism, if I may rephrase Banu?
No, I would say that, see, whether the TVK success model can be replicated in other states or no, I think it is too early to say. It might also be a one-off event or an incident. But what is very clear is that the voice of the youth, which is 18 to 35 years of age, is nowhere heard in the political system.
You're not using the word Gen Z.
I'm saying 18 to 35. Okay, 18 to 35 age. You can call it Gen Z, X, Y, whatever.
Okay.
So that voice is not heard. So if you see the number of MPs below 35 years of age is just 5%. Correct. So this voice is looking for either more representation or voice in the respective organizations, or looking for alternate parties or leaders who give voice to this generation. And that is what we will see also going ahead. That could be seen in the cabinet reshuffle. That could be seen in the political parties' administrative structure or organization structure. And we will need more youth. Their voice needs to be heard. That's the message from TV.
Banu, very quickly, he said cabinet reshuffle. That's what everyone is talking about.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good point because we do not see TVK's campaign, crossed. I mean, it was across gender, caste, and it papered over so many differences. Whether this is a sustainable phenomenon or these old demons going to come back and haunt the politics of Tamil Nadu is something we have to wait and see. I mean, we cannot make quick assumptions, but what has happened in Tamil Nadu is definitely, you have to see with a very clear mind to understand what's happening.
I think I'll just end on this note. Every politics is good till it does not ostracize other communities. In India from 1980s onwards, in name of social justice, a lot of ostracization of communities or othering of communities have taken place. I hope there is a better politics in which the othering does not happen, whether it's upper caste, backward caste, lower caste. This othering to me is a big problem. It hurts my sensitivity. Thank you both of you for joining me, and this is all I had on my On Point tonight. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you and good night. fallout from the deadly ambush on the church leaders in Manipur is now rapidly escalating across the hill districts.